Here we go.
The Killing Joke is DC Animation's newest film, and it is based off of the graphic novel The Killing Joke, which is one of my favorite comic books of all time. Speaking of which, guys, if you haven't seen my synopsis of that comic, you can click the link down in the description and it will take you right there. Watch it, it's a good time. Also, this review will contain mild spoilers, but nothing that isn't covered in the Killing Joke comic, so if you have read that, then you're good. This movie is about Batman as he hunts the escaped fugitive Joker who attacks the Gordon family to prove a diabolical point similar to that of his own insanity. Now, as I've said before, in tons of videos, I am a massive Batman fan. He was the first superhero I ever loved, and he has been extremely important to me since. So if his name is in any movie at all, in any form, I'm probably gonna watch it. So not only was I excited for this movie because A, it's Batman, B, because it's an adaptation of one of my favorite comic books ever, but C, they actually got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to return as their iconic roles. So being a Batman fan, you get asked a lot, who is your favorite Batman? Is it Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton? And to me, there was only one actual acceptable answer, and that's Kevin Conroy. Now, I actually had the pleasure of meeting Kevin Conroy, and he is a fantastic guy, and I actually got that gem signed over there, which is one of my prized possessions. But Kevin Conroy is without a doubt the definitive Batman. If I read a Batman comic, you bet your bat nipples I'm reading it in his voice. There is no one else on the planet who even comes close to being a better Batman than Kevin Conroy, and I wouldn't want anyone else voicing him, especially in a comic that is as iconic as The Killing Joke. Now, there is only one other actor who is more synonymous with their character that they voice. Someone who with just a single laugh is recognizable. Someone whose voice is so imprinted in our psyche as a child that he is just the definitive version of that character, and that is Mark Hamill as the Joker. Now, pretty much just take every single thing I said about Kevin Conroy and multiply it by like 1,000, and that's how good Mark Hamill is as the Joker. There's not a single person in this entire planet who has even come close to being so absolutely a perfect representation of this character than Mark Hamill. No one can even come close to imitating what Mark Hamill does with this character. Troy Baker. Excuse me. So not only is this a Batman movie, that is an adaptation of one of my favorite comics of all time, and it has a terrific cast, so this should be the movie that we're all waiting for, right? Yeah, kinda. Look, everything that they do in this movie that is from The Killing Joke is nearly perfect. It looks like it was ripped straight out of a comic and was glued onto the screen. There are several shots that are so accurate to the T of the comic, and it is beautifully animated like most of Bruce Timm's productions are. But the big problem that I have with this movie that casts such a huge shadow over it is the Killing Joke aspect of this film is only about half of it. The other half of this movie is really bizarre, and I think a lot of weird choices were made. They spend a large majority of this film explaining why Barbara Gordon isn't Batgirl anymore, and I feel like it's a huge waste of time. In the comics, it's just like, oh, here's Barbara Gordon, oops, she got shot. It doesn't really focus on her at all. But this movie seems like it would want you to believe that this is her movie, which I don't think is accurate at all. This whole movie should be focused on the Joker, not just half of it, and the other half certainly shouldn't be focused on a character who is barely in the comic. I feel like they completed everything that was Killing Joke related, and they were pretty much just like, alright, I'm done. You know that's only like 45 minutes of footage, don't you? What? Yeah, you need definitely like 30 more minutes to even be able to call this a movie. Well, what should I do? I don't know, just add more Batgirl stuff, I guess. Overall, I absolutely loved about half of this movie, and I probably would really like the other half too if I wasn't such a huge fan of the comic. Like when I buy this movie and I'm like, hey, I want to watch The Killing Joke, I'm probably just going to skip to where they start off in the Killing Joke comic. And that's where Batman goes to Arkham Asylum and talks to the Joker, which is like 35 minutes into this movie. I feel like everything else before that is just kind of a waste of time, and it feels like it's just stuffing to be able to call this a movie. But luckily, the next time I will be seeing the Joker on the big screen is for Suicide Squad, which I am so unbelievably excited for. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, click on the link down below, subscribe to my channel, see more movie reviews and related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.